manage a team working towards a deadline with lots of moving parts and lots of contributors. I led a team of 13 scientists, none of whom lived in the same state or province, in the writing of a manuscript, and I can say with total confidence that all of us contributed. That's not necessarily an easy feat. Trello really helped me to manage the team in a transparent way, and I think a similar approach could work for similar projects where you're working towards a goal, and that goal may be evolving. You're working in a team environment where you require input and contributions from all members at different times. There are logistical constraints that prevent us from getting together often, and there's a need for flexible subgroups so people can work to their strengths.
This is an example of a project that developed iteratively. I was leading the project and I knew there were going to be a lot of moving parts. Because we were all working on this paper as co-authors, we started off with just a couple boards, survey and writing. And there's a lot going on now. But when we started out, we were just developing, okay, what are the first steps that we need to do? And this whole board developed from there. We had a board for the initial submission, the revisions and the final submission, and finally what we're still working on is disseminating our work. So one design feature we decided on to keep things contained and so we could easily look back through things was not to have a done list. Instead, we have these labels, these colored labels, which show us what we're working on. So under labels, we've organized into to do, doing, and done, and also reference things that we can go back and look at if we need them later. Engagement was really high, and there are certain things like developing the title, which we have lots of conversation about, and it's easy to look back why we made a decision that we did about something. For things like figures, it's easy to ask for feedback when you can attach things right there, and again, much easier than email to go back through and look for what you've done before. Even for substantial revisions, we were able to divide those up easily just by putting each revision on its own card, and I asked everyone to take one with a partner or on their own. The other useful thing as the project lead was to be able to easily coordinate deadlines. So I can see in one fell swoop how the distribution of the workload is, and also there were many things that we were doing like multiple layers of editing, which required one person to be done before the next person does the final stages of editing and so on. So you'll see leading up to our initial submission deadline, we have deadlines that are days apart, and people knew by looking at this that they needed to get their part done in order for the next person to be able to work on their next part and so on. If there were any issues with that, people could easily just call out for help, or I could check in and make sure things were going fine just by using the card.